No. What? What's this? Yum, yum, give me some.
Well, hello YouTubers, and welcome back to the Wholesome Initial channel and this first episode of Feeding the Monster. First off, I'd like to give Jake Kilroy a big thanks for allowing me to use the term Feed the Monster. So if you haven't checked out his channel, link in the description below to his channel, and if you haven't checked him out by now, I'm sure most of you probably know about him. He's got some pretty interesting content there as well, so if this thing is kind of up your alley, then pop on over and say hi to him. So anyway, today we have a grinder, a surface grinder. Now this old girl looks pretty rough. We'll give you a walk around tour here in a minute. This was made by ABA Werks in Aschaffenburg. This thing is vintage in the 60s sometimes. I forget exactly. It's an FF61, and it's got power everything. The elevation, of course, the down one doesn't work too well. The relay in there is a little stuck. This old girl's been sitting for a long time. The coolant reservoir looks pretty ratty. I don't know what they were running in it, but it sure ate the paint off everything, as you'll see here shortly. And I have a suspicion that it probably wreaked some havoc with some of the electrics in the relay box here. So anyway, yeah, we got this here for essentially scrap price. Everything on it does work that we know of. I haven't tried out the coolant pump yet. First, we're going to kind of give this thing a cosmetic overhaul. It's been sitting in a storage unit or storage shed, storage barn, storage. Anyway, it's been sitting in storage an awful long time. It's dirty, it's cruddy. It's gotten wet a few times, and probably more from the coolant than anything else. But all the initial tests so far, I had to just switch the poles on the plug, and everything seemed to work just the way it was intended to. So anyway, let's go do a little bit of a walk around, and I'll show you what we got here. So let's see, the light in here isn't optimal. Anyway, this here is for the elevation. This raises it up and down. We'll just go ahead and raise it here. This, as you can maybe hear, that just buzzes. It's just the relay getting stuck. Here is the cross feed. Here's the longitudinal feed for the table. The mag base does work. The spindle works. Give it a short. It sounds pretty good. Now, this fluid on the table here is not real awe-inspiring. I have a nagging suspicion we probably have a leaky seal there on the spindle. So anyway, we'll address that as we get this thing moved into the shop. Here are the controls right here. Here you have for the hydraulics for the feed. This turns on the hydraulics. Now to get this thing going, you got to give it a little tap there on that sensor, and then it starts moving the table back and forth. So that's a pretty nice little feature there. The hydraulic, that is, not so much the tapping of the thing, but so anyway, there's that. And here's the electrics box. As you can see, it's looking pretty rough in there. It's kind of scrungy and grungy. It's going to need. Here's the hookup back here for some of the electrics. This is going. This is for the mag base, and this down here is for the coolant. So that's going to get hooked up. There's the coolant discharge nozzle right there. If I'm misaiming the camera, I do apologize. I'm out here in the broad sunlight and I really can't see the viewfinder all that well in this light. Here's a spindle motor. It's looking a little gummy, but I'm thinking that's just probably from the coolant splashing back and forth. Here's a coolant discharge again. And down here is the hydraulics. Let's see if we can get in there to... Yeah. There's the reservoir down there. It's kind of an open reservoir. I'm not really liking that too much, but evidently they didn't think that it really needed too much covering up. But being how this is a machine that has coolant, the dust development isn't going to be all that critical. Now we got lift points down here, so I'm going to slip a piece of pipe through, and over here as well. And so we're going to slip a pipe through and lift this thing off the pallet, and then lift it onto a Euro pallet and get it in the shop. So anyway, this is what 5 bills will get you these days. I do apologize if the shots aren't all that stellar here, but anyway. Well, YouTubers, we finally got her in the shop here after a few days of sitting out in the yard. Unfortunately, this video is going to drag on over the course of several weeks, unfortunately, as I get time to work on it. Did finally manage to get a few things going here. The head up and down, there was just a relay that was kind of hanging up internally, so went in there, got that fixed. It wasn't really much. I gave it a drop of oil and that seemed to cure the problem, although I realize you're not supposed to oil these things, but they're made out of Bakelite and sometimes they just get to hanging up and they just need a little bit of extra oomph. If you pushed on the button and held it there for a while, sometimes it'd kick in, sometimes it wouldn't. So I took it apart, cleaned it, and gave it a drop of oil, and that seemed to cure the problem. The control lamps here, this one here is burned out, so I need to get a new bulb for it. I got it sitting right here. It's kind of a goofy one. I've never seen one like this before. I should go out and check in the warehouse, see if we got one kicking around somewhere, but I doubt it. I'm probably going to have to go into eBay and order one. The magnetic head, or the magnet, doesn't seem to be holding quite as strong as it should. I don't know if that's just because it's dirty and the work pieces are just the chunks of iron I threw up on there just for shits and giggles, are so dirty too that the thing just doesn't hold them. The other grinder that I had of this manufacturer, or better say the one I got to work on, the old outfit, you see you see it in some of the old intros and in some of the machining intros. That magnet plate held a whole lot stronger than this one did. And once you turned it on, you couldn't pull a piece off there. This one, unfortunately, there's something going on there that I'm not sure of what's going on. I've got a rheostat here. I'm not sure what that's for, and it's all seized up. It's all seized up. And so I got to figure out what's going on with it, what it does. I'm going to call the company and find out if they have some kind of a user's manual to see what this dial here is for, maybe replace it if I can. And I have a suspicion this is probably something for either feed or for the magnet, where you can adjust the strength of it to where you're not magnetizing your work pieces and that kind of thing. Just guessing. If anybody out there knows, anything in the comments would be appreciated. Then we've got this funky switch here. It has 3 settings and then a kind of reversal. I'm not sure what that does. Right here, this is off for the magnet head. Now it's on, and now it's off again. So I'm not sure what this thing is. If it's just for the mag chuck, or if it's for something else along with it, hard to say. Then we got another one up here, another switch here. Not sure what it does. I'm thinking it's probably for the feed, for fast and slow speed. But then you have a dial over here on the other side where you can adjust the rate of feed as well. It might be for the lateral feed, guessing. And then I got the button panel out up there for manually running. This has an electric feed for the lateral feed back and forth, just like for the height, the up and down. And the buttons on it don't seem to be working, but there again, I'm chalking that up to relays down here in the box. So I'm going to have to do some more digging, probably pull out some relays, clean them, and see what's going on with them. I think it's just a matter of cleaning them up. That one I pulled out, it had kind of a corroded face where the 2 magnets come together and make contact. Although that doesn't really, it shouldn't make any difference whether they're cruddy or whatever going on, because they got a separate set of contacts that make contact up there in the head of the thing, where they've got like little platinum like contacts in a set of points. So I did clean this one switch out here. It was pretty bad, the on-off switch. Took it apart, cleaned it, got the points all cleaned up, and put it back together. This is a nice thing about these older machines. They're, you can take the switches apart and actually repair them, unlike newer machines where you just take the switch out, throw it away, and put in a new one, if you get one that's, compatible. So anyway, like I said, there's a few little odds and ends here that I'm not really sure what to make of just yet. So as I get to figuring it out, I'll keep you guys posted. But anyway, this is not first episode of Feeding the Monster, but it's certainly not going to be the last. Hope you guys liked the little intro. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of it. And hope you enjoyed the video. And we're going to do a mechanical restoration. I've got to put new seals in the spindle shaft up above. When I turned it on, it spit out a bunch of oil, and so I'm thinking the spindle shaft seals are probably gone. so I'm going to have to replace those. And been scraping the paint off it. It's got 5 or 6 different coats of paint, so that's going to be interesting. I'm thinking I'm probably going to get a stripper and a paint stripper and strip this stuff off, and then forego the sandblasting. Maybe these other smaller parts that I can take off, I can sandblast, but for the most part it's going to be a paint stripper job, and give it a fresh coat of paint. I'm not sure what paint scheme to give it. It's got blue and white. You know, the current one was blue and white, probably for the Bavarian colors, because this thing came from Aschaffenburg, which is part of Bavaria, so I'm thinking it probably had something to do with that. Who knows? But anywho, yeah, that's the initial lowdown for this new addition to the shop. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you have any thoughts, comments, critiques, or suggestions, by all means put that in the comment section too. If you want to help the support the channel in any meaningful way, by all means let the ads play, and that helps out the channel immensely. Although right now with the new tax situation, where the current administration is trying to squeeze every dime they can out of the populace, YouTube is now taking 24% in taxes off the top. So what can I say?
Oh, that's better.